Welcome, guys. I love coming into Oakland, San Francisco, the Bay Area. We were here in February, the first week of February. How many of you guys came to the workshop in February? How many people were at the workshop? 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. How many people are brand spanking new? Just found me on the internet just over the last few days. Okay, perfect. 80% of our marketing goes out to new people, guys. You know why? There's 8 billion people on this earth. If I only market the same people who know who we are, we don't grow. And so the biggest thing is being able to get proximity to new people and let them understand exactly what we're doing. Make sense? Okay. How many of you guys have real estate experience, guys? Okay. All right. Now let's define that. Let's define real estate experience. How many of you guys own a property that is not your single family home that you live in, but it's a rental and you have income producing revenue that comes in from it? Raise your hand. Okay, so just a few of you guys. How many of you guys have construction experience? Doesn't matter what type. It's construction experience. Okay, cool. Okay. How many of you guys have done at least one fix and flip? Raise your hand. Okay, if you've done one ground up build, doesn't matter if it's residential or construction, doesn't matter if you're working for somebody, but if you started from the bottom up and you saw a whole build go, raise your hand if you've done one. Okay, cool. It does man with confidence, like, fuck, that's what I do all day. All right, cool. All right, guys, let's get started. I like to understand who's in the audience and who we have that I'm working with. That way I kind of know the experience level and how to hit what we're going over today. For those of you guys that are new to me, the reason that I own the authority to be able to talk on behalf of what we're talking about today is because I've worked my ass off to do what I do. I've been in this industry for 28 years. I've been self-employed for 32. I started when I was 10 years old. Right? Wow. It's like I was 20 years old. Now I'm 51 now. But I'll tell you guys, I started in 1998, really in the ground up game. I started in concrete work, and it was totally on accident. For those of you guys that don't have, how many people have no experience at all in either real estate or construction? Raise your hand if you have no experience at all. Okay, you don't be embarrassed if you don't. Okay, I didn't have construction experience, guys. I was in college in the early 1990s, and when I was in college, I was sanding drywall. That was my only construction experience. Outside of helping my mom and dad around the house, I didn't have construction experience. And I got into it because I understood business and employing the efforts of other people. So if you don't have experience, you guys are going to do exactly what I did in 1998 to start a construction company and start in real estate. And I just hired people that were better than me. Open seats are all right here. All these seats are open. Okay. So one of the biggest things is that when we go through this today, I want you guys to understand that I'm going to work with you guys and talk to you guys about teams, what we're doing, how we do it, and that everybody in here has the capabilities of getting into the ground up game. Why do we do the ground up game? Because, ladies and gentlemen, if there was more money in like fix and flips, that's what I would be doing. Okay. ADUs here in California are awesome. I'm going to talk to you on how ADUs are actually the ground up game in what you guys see here in California. And I'm going to talk to us about how the land relates to the existing dwelling unit. Okay, because that's a big code here, right? Is it? Yeah? Yes, it is. Okay. Is it? Yeah? Yeah. All right. Wake the fuck up, guys. Get up, baby. We're here. You got here. Let's kick some ass today. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. We're going to do it together? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to own it, guys. I'm going to friggin' own it today for you guys. You guys ready to come here and make some money? I didn't come out here to not teach you guys how to do some cool shit. So we're going to come in. We're going to kick some ass. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to wake you guys up and we're going to get going. Okay?
Let's do it.
Cool? You guys got it?
Let's do it.
All right. So here's the thing, guys. When we come in, the ADU deal here in California is a big deal. I do stuff up in Kirkland, Washington. It's called the cottage code up there. But it's very similar to what you guys have going down here. Now, I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and we do a lot of development out there. We do a lot of stuff in the Phoenix market. In fact, the Phoenix market is my biggest market. But one of the big attributes that you guys have that we don't is the ADU codes. And so I wish we had the ADU codes because you don't have to short plat land, which there's a few of you guys that are working on subdividing property right now. And subdividing property can be a pain in the ass if you don't know what you're doing or if you have pushback from municipalities. So we're going to talk how to mitigate some of that stuff today briefly, but I'm going to talk about where opportunity lies and where it comes from. When I got started, guys, I was broke. I was in a multi-level marketing company for 4.5 years. I sucked at it. I learned how to lease desk space. That's how I made a living in multi-level marketing, because I sucked at the business for 2.5 years. And the way I fed myself was leasing desk space. And that kind of served its purpose later in life when I started buying retail buildings back in like 2000. And then we started building them in like 2002. And then they almost took us out and almost wiped us out in 2008. Because we lost all our leases and stuff, literally. And we had empty, brand new buildings in 2008. I landed up getting really good at the business about 2.5 years into multi-level marketing. And I became a top money earner with the company. I take that experience and we have friggin' leveraged it to a T, ladies and gentlemen. The FTC shut us down in 1998. If you guys Google Inc. 500, 1995, the cover of that magazine is our company. Not my company, my mentor, Bill. And we were the fastest growing publicly held company in American history. And so we just grew too fast. We couldn't fix the company, and the FTC shut us down before we could fix it. So in 1997, we were out of business, and I went from making about $25,000 a month in my young 20s to zero overnight. And I just got into construction on accident. I thought it was going to be like a short-term gig that I did for a year or so. And here I sit almost 30 years later, and I'm still doing it, guys. And we've done just about everything. I was the largest Subway franchisee in southern Colorado and central New Mexico for about a decade. We've owned sit-down, high-end, 5-star restaurants. We still own some of that today. We've owned dance schools, coffee shops, juice bars, all kinds of shit. And the one thing that has been the most profitable, ladies and gentlemen, of all the stuff we own is the ground-up residential game for fast and big profits, guys. And if our flips were bigger profits, guess what we would have stayed in? Flips. If the Subways were more profitable, guess what we would have stayed in? The Subways, right? So when I sit back and I tell you guys what we're talking about today is truly what's been the best return on investment with time, employees, and everything. It's the ground up game, guys. And it's not the fix and flips. And it has the least amount of threshold of pushback for you. I know that for a lot of people, when you talk about ground up construction, they sit back and go, damn, it seems like a lot more work. I don't understand the ground up game. Ladies and gentlemen, when I had Subway stores and I had 200 plus employees in the Subway stores, and I was still running over 100 employees with a construction company, there was a time we had over 330 employees that we were running. It was a friggin' pain in the ass. And I'll tell you guys that I sat back one day and I told my wife, fuck this, and excuse my language. Do I have you guys permission just to be who I am? Is that okay?
Please,
can I just be who I am? And not have to worrying about stumbling over my words because I use a profanity. I'm not going to get anybody who's butt hurt and leaves because I use the F word. You guys all right with that? Okay, cool. So here's the thing, guys. So I sat back one day and I told my wife, I go, this is bullshit. I said, all these employees are a fucking pain in the ass. And I sat back and I told her, I said, look, I'm going to sell all the friggin' Subway stores. I said, I'm getting rid of all that bullshit. I said, we just don't make enough on all of it. I'd rather just build a house and I don't have to worry about employees. I just deal with subs and I can go in and if they sick, I don't have anybody that calls in sick. I don't have a phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning that someone threw a rock through my window to steal $100 out of my cash register, right? And a bag of fucking potato chips. And so it happened all the time. And I was like, I don't have to deal with the bullshit, right? And I could just sit on these homes and I didn't have to have any employees. And I could do 4 of them a year, make $250,000 on each one, make $1 million with 0 employees a year, and do them part-time on top of my full-time business. And so how many of you guys would pick the contrary to do that over running 200 plus employees, guys, and make the exact same amount of money? We had 16 stores. We were netting about $1 million a year. I build 4 homes, $1 million a year. I go from 200 employees down to 0. And I have an admin in the office that helps me. How many people think that's a better business model? Yes. Way better, guys. How many of you guys would love to go in and build like 50 homes a year? Raise your hands. Yes. Okay, let me tell you this story. So we got up to 57 homes a year in 2008. We were doing like 2006, 2007, 2008. We did over 50 homes a year. We were having to pull a house out of the ground every single week. If we didn't, we were servicing payroll. And so now we're servicing a beast. And we're pulling these houses out of the ground. We're making money. But then 2008 hits and we go down to 12 homes in a year. Our net proceeds were less than $500,000 variance between doing 12 homes a year and 57 homes a year. Half the employees without the headaches, because there's an attrition rate to efficiency as you grow. And so we realized that we were running a very inefficient business, but we thought we were growing and we were growing exponentially. We just weren't seeing the returns that we thought we were going to see. So when we scaled down, we were able to do it a lot more efficiently and effectively. That business model is the business model that I'm going to share with you guys today. Is that okay? Yes. Okay. No one in here, I wouldn't recommend to any of you guys to go over 12 homes a year. You don't need to. 8 homes a year, 4 to 8, fuck, that's a great business. And that's a full-time business. 4 or less, it's a part-time business. Keep doing what you're doing. I was just with my business partner, Ramez. The real reason that we're here is he's getting married. He's my business partner up in Seattle. He's worked still to this day. He's working for LinkedIn right here in San Francisco. And so he was working out here. We're doing his bachelor party out here. And it's cool because I've told him, I said, Ramez, he's a big executive for him. He still makes about $500,000 a year on his payroll and about $300,000 in stock options. I told him, bro, you make $800,000 a year working for LinkedIn. Just stay there. We just finished a $24 million project that we finished in November over in Kirkland, Washington. And we were able to do that with one superintendent, all subcontractors. And we did it in 2 years, guys. Very similar to the ADU laws, building cottages out in Kirkland, Washington. He was also doing 2 or 3 custom $2-3 million builds in Kirkland at the same time we were doing that and working a full-time job. So as you guys are in here, you guys are paying attention to what we're doing today, understand that this is not to replace what you're doing. It's to complement and supplement what you're doing, because most people don't want to go out there and they don't really want to get rich. You guys don't want the headaches that I deal with every day, because what we do today is really ground up in multifamily. The largest revenue that we bring in comes in from our large multifamily. Most of it's 150 units to 250 units. We have over $150 million under development right now as we speak. That shit's all mine. And we have over $600 million that I own, that I built and I own, that we built from nothing in the ground up game, guys, from a 460 credit score in 1998 with no money in my bank account to where we are today. It's pretty cool. And you guys, most people will never get there, truth be told. But even though you guys may never get there, guess what you guys can do? What if you guys went out and you guys just simply paid off your mortgage doing like 2 of these and you didn't have a mortgage anymore? Or what if you went out and, like my brother-in-law Adrian, in 27 years, he's done 5 builds, guys, 5 builds in 27 years. He has no mortgage payment. He's getting ready now to retire. His kids are going to college. And he came to me the other day and he goes, Jerome, I just want to do 2 more. He goes, will you help me get 2 more going out of the ground? I said, yeah. He goes, then I can send Mariana, his daughter, anywhere that he wants in college. They haven't had a mortgage payment their entire life because of what we did for them 20 years ago. And now you guys have that same opportunity. And what this is about, guys, is not about getting rich. It's about quality of life. Because think about it this way. What if you did 1 build a year and that's all you ever did, and it just supplemented your income part-time with maybe 5 to 10 hours a week, but you made an extra $250,000 a year part-time doing 1 every single year? How many of you guys that would impact your life?
Everybody.
Every single person here, guys.
Yeah.
And think about it, man. It's $250,000. You're not rich, but damn, the quality of your life goes up exponentially. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get started, guys. First, you have to know where opportunity comes from. And I hit on this really quick, and you guys are going to help me, so pull out your cell phones. Pull out your cell phones. Okay. Guys, you guys are going to have an opportunity. How many of you guys, if I taught you guys how to get into any property, not 100% risk-free, because nothing's ever 100% risk-free. But what if I gave you an opportunity to de-risk almost 99% of what you did by learning how to underwrite? How many of you guys would fly to Miami and spend a weekend with me if I taught you guys how to do that? Okay, that's why you guys are here today. On September 27th and 28th, guys, I have a workshop. I don't advertise it. You have to come to a meetup in order to get invited to it. Some of these folks came to the one we had here in February. There's a handful, and I'll let you guys hear from them. I didn't invite them to come here today, but I did, right? Like I didn't call each of them up and say, hey, be here to come and tell these guys about my workshop. I didn't know who was showing up, right? I invited them and said, hey, come. And I want them to share with you guys what you'll learn, because this shit will change your life forever. I've never lost money in any real estate transaction. We're buying and selling always, guys. And I've lost money on 0. Even those shitty retail centers that almost made me go bankrupt in 1998, I made a profit on 100% of every single one of those piece of shit retail centers that almost took me under monetarily. Does that make sense? And so I'm going to share with you guys how that works today, but you'll never understand it, and you'll never be able to do what I do if you don't understand how to underwrite real estate. Make sense? Okay, so your brains are going to hurt when you leave today, but I'm going to give you some really cool shit. Is that okay? Hey, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, then let's do it, man. Wake up. Wake up, Oakland. I know it's early. Let's go, baby. All right. Now, here we go, guys. This is what I want you guys to understand right here. Value of an asset equals its net income, its net operating income, divided by its cap rate. Most people don't know what this is. Most people don't know what this is, guys. This right here will protect you. This right here is everything you need in commercial real estate. The goal isn't just residential, because the problem is, if I teach you guys how to go out and make $250,000 a year doing one build, you're going to have a tax liability of about $110,000 that you're going to have to pay to the IRS, which sucks, because you put in the risk, you get the loans, you put your ass on the line, you go out there, you do the work, and then you have to give 40% of that back to the IRS. Bullshit. You're not going to do that. Make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you guys something in the commercial game that's going to allow you guys to not have to pay federal income taxes. And it's part of the big, beautiful bill. It's just been enhanced even better. And so if you guys see me buying a bunch of stupid ass cars, it's because I love the big, beautiful bill. And now I can go out and buy $1 million supercar, which I just did last week. And you guys will see this red Ferrari I just bought, badder than fuck. That thing is badder than fuck, man. And it gets delivered this week. And I'm going to get paid to drive that car based on what I'm going to teach you guys today. I will drive that thing for free for the next few years. And I'm buying a McLaren. I just bought my wife a brand new G-Wagon that cost us $250,000, guys. And we're making money by driving those vehicles. And it's because of the big, beautiful bill. If you guys don't like Trump, I don't give a shit, because that big, beautiful bill is big, beautiful, is badder than shit. It's going to put you in a position to be able to not have to pay income taxes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we come in, guys, understand that the value of an asset, guys, you guys, the goal is this. This is where we're going to end today. But I want you guys to understand where we're going, because if you don't, it doesn't matter. Because everybody in here, the end game, you have to get into the multi-unit game. Whether it's multifamily, warehouses, it doesn't matter. But you have to get into the multi-unit game so you can cost segregate and you can take advantage of the tax benefits so you don't have to pay federal income taxes on the money you make building houses. Okay? Now, if we go in, guys, I'm not going to go through this entirely. I'm just going to go through this real quick because I have a bunch of cool shit to show you guys on ADUs. So usually I'll explain this in depth. A cap rate, guys, is the rate of return that you guys have on an asset. Hey, Rick, can you do me a favor, bro? Can you get me some markers that fucking work, like a black one or something? They work, yeah, but they're kind of shitty. So if you can, just get me some that work. Okay, now, so when you go in, guys, and we have an asset, the asset produces income. You have a multi-unit apartment complex. Let's say that thing is 20 units. Let's say that those things are renting for the average rents nationwide, $1,700 a month. That asset comes in and makes about $250,000 a year. But there's expenses to running that asset. And so if that asset goes in and you have property taxes, insurance, you have you got your landscaping, light bulbs, clogged toilets, everything that you're doing. And so if you go in at the end of the $250,000 you bring in, let's say you have $150,000 left. Is that fair to say? Okay, that's your net income. That's your net operating income, that $150K. Okay, we'll get some better markers up here in a second, guys. I know these ones suck. Now, if we divide that, guys, by the rate of return that that asset brings to you, this is called your debt coverage ratio. It's also called your interest rate that you're paying on your mortgage, because you can't float a mortgage that doesn't pay, that you can't pay. The rate of return is what that asset brings back. It's like stocks. If you go in and buy Intel, and if the Intel brings you back a 6% return, annualized return on the growth of that stock, the cap rate is the same as the rate of return. It's the same in correlation as the rate of return that you're making on stocks, but it's what you're making on your asset if you pay cash for that asset. There's a chair right here, ma'am. There's a couple chairs right up here. There's a couple chairs right up front here, guys. Come join us right up front. I just want some of that banana nut bread you have on this chair. Okay, so this is our rate of return. That rate of return has to pay the debt on that asset. If you don't make a return large enough to pay the debt, you're fucked, period. Yeah? Okay, so understand, guys, the rate of return when interest rates were 3%, welcome, guys. Back in 2020, How low did interest rates get in 2020, guys? How low? 2%, 2.7%? Okay. So assets were being sold for really low cap rates because you could float the debt on it. So what happens, guys, is let's call it 3%. Okay, so 3%. Oh, that's better. It's red's hard to read. Okay, so 3%. Look, guys, in 2021, if you take 150K, take it on your phones right now. Pull out your phones. Help me out here, guys. You're going to learn by doing. I don't believe in doing for you guys. You guys have to do. You guys ever heard the parable? You feed a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You teach a man a fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Right. Pull your phones out, guys. Right. I ain't going to do shit for you guys. You guys have to do it for yourself. Because in the real world, no one's going to do shit for you guys. You're going to have to do it yourself. Make sense? Yeah. Same thing I tell my kids. You know, I told my son the other day, he hurt his knee. He's all over the newspapers and everything today because he just committed to his university to play football, and so he's all over the paper, all over the news, all over everything. He's got like 5 interviews yesterday. But I told him the other day, and it's weird how like things work, guys. You know, kids are kids. He's in a big old man's body, but he still has a brain of a 2-year-old, right? Literally, that's teenagers, right? They think they're. And I told my son the other day, and excuse my language, guys. We pour into our kids. We love them, so don't take this the wrong way. I call my son a puss. I go, you're being a puss. I go, you're being a puss. Because mama, he hurt his knee. Poor thing, right? Let's therapy that thing. Let's get it back, guys. Like, let's get that thing back.
Right.
But sitting back being a damn baby ain't going to do it. And I told my son, you're being a puss. And I went outside. He was in the hot tub. And I told him, look, Jacob, you got to man up, man. Because I heard his coach call me. His coach's like, yeah, Jacob's hurt. And they're babying him because he's good. And then I see him kind of fall into this mental thing of being soft. And I go, look, man, I didn't have that luxury when I was a kid. I wrestled all the way D1, all the way through college and stuff. I didn't have that luxury. Man, you got hurt. You better man up and get your ass back on that fucking mat, you know, because otherwise my spot's getting taken.
Right.
Period.
Right,
like hurt or not hurt, man. I had to go back in because I would just wrestle off. I lose my spot. Then I didn't get a wrestle until that spot got opened up again. It cost me an entire fucking season. So messed up shoulders, messed up knees. Absolutely. We didn't care. We had to wrestle, hurt, not nothing. So my wife wasn't there because she'd ream me. If she heard me, I'd call and say, Jacob, you need to stop being a pussy. He goes, what? I go, you call me a pussy? I said, I'm not calling you a pussy, but I'm telling you, you're acting like a pussy. And I said, I love you, but I ain't going to put up with this stuff. I've heard it from your coach. I've heard it from mama. You can go inside if you want to get nurtured by mama and be mama to baby. Go inside. I'm going to tell you the reality. You don't get your shit together up here, you stop being a puss. Absolutely. You better get out there and start therapy in that leg. They told you to get under those weights and fucking squat. You better get under those weights and fucking squat. When they told you to squat heavy, you better fucking squat heavy. You know, and I told him, and I said, it's enough of this bullshit. I love you, I'm your dad, but damn it, stop being a puss. That's it. And the next day he was like a whole different person. I was like, holy shit. His coach called me. He's like, oh my God, Jacob like improved by like 20, 30% today. I was like, yeah, I had a little talk with him last night. You know? So when I tell you guys this, guys, I don't know how to teach shit, but I know how to coach because I was just coached, right? So I'm going to teach you guys like I was coached, and I'm going to tell you guys, pull out your phones and help me here because I'm not going to do this shit for you. I'm going to teach you how to do it, but you're going to go out, and at the end of the day, you have to do this shit. Make sense? And if your fingers punch those buttons and you guys do it, you own the information and the knowledge. Cool? This is you. If you guys go out and make it and successful, I might have given you the information, but I'm not the responsible party. You have to take action, not me, you. Make sense? Yes. Okay. Now, if we take $150,000 and we divide it by 3%, what's the value of that asset? What is it? 5 million what? What is it? 5 million even? Okay. Okay. So $5 million. Okay. So we take a $5 million asset. None of these work, bro. $5 million. Okay. 2021. Bank gives you a loan for 80% of that. Now you go in, you have an 80% loan to value on that thing, and this is what the bank gave you lending on. Now, 2025, where are interest rates today, guys? 7.5%, guys, 7.5%. We just went in January, we were at a 6.5% debt coverage ratio. They're underwriting stuff right now at a 7.5%. We're just waiting for September for rates to come back down, to come out of the ground with a couple projects. Because just to get back to where we were at in January, now in September, total bullshit. But let me tell you guys, even if we underwrote this thing at 7%, guys, or let's do it at 6.5%. So we take the same $150,000, okay? We divide that by 6.5%, 6.5%, on your cap rate, what is the value of that asset? 2.3? $2.3 million. Same wall, same tenant, same income. Income probably even went up. Look at the value of your asset in just the last 4 years, guys. That's the way banks underwrite, guys. Same everything. Less than half the value. Why is there $2.7 trillion coming to the open market? Because of 5-1 arms, guys. This shit doesn't pencil no more. Why do I teach you guys this? Because the thing that's going to keep you guys going the most is understanding that if you understand how to underwrite the value of an asset and how much it costs to build it, you'll never lose money in your entire life. Make sense? Yeah. The reason that I do these workshops is not for me, guys. I don't make shit on these things. They're for you guys. Because if I can teach you guys and ingrain this stuff in your brains, you'll never lose money. Make sense? Yeah. Okay. Now let's get started on the single family game. Now, when we go in, guys, on the single family game, we're going to talk about some ADUs and some land, okay? And I'm going to talk about land as it relates to ADUs. Because here in California, you guys have this ADU law. In a lot of infill where you guys have dense development, this ADU law is very similar to the way you look at land. The difference is, guys, there's a seat right up here, guys, that you guys can come off and sit in. Is there another seat over here? There's some seats, guys. There's a couple more seats up here. We'll have it packing out, and we'll have standing room only because I can't tell people no. When you guys want to come in, you guys are willing to come out and learn, you guys are all welcome. Okay, now, these two things, ladies and gentlemen, these two things are very similar. Listen to me, okay? You got a lot, you're buying, okay? You got a lot, you're buying. Now, every house has a piece of land on it, okay? But there's what's called condominium laws. It's a law, it's nationwide, it's a national law. ADUs falls under condo law, okay? This falls under condo law. Our cottage code falls under condo law, okay? You don't need to understand condo law today. Just understand that you can take this one lot that has a house on it, and you can build a house right here. This is existing. This is new. If you have enough room to build that house on that lot, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call free land, okay? But it's not so free, because I'm going to teach you guys how to underwrite this today, okay? Now, there's a value of this asset, and the way they're getting sold in California is based on the value of this house right here, and people know that this land is worth something. So what they're doing is they're inflating the cost of the house to account for the ADU that they know can go on that lot. The variance between the value of this home is the value of this land. But you have to assess the value of this land the same way you would if I was in Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, any other place in the country. You have to assess it the exact same way, because if you don't assess it the same way, you can lose your ass. Make sense? Now, the value of that land can never exceed 15 to 20% of the overall resale value of that house, okay? So this piece of land has to sit within 15 to 20%, okay? Hey, you guys, I know you guys can't see shit with this red fucking pen, okay? I know, and I'm sorry. We're working on it because I know you can't see shit. But this hotel has 20 fucking markers that don't fucking work, okay? So to all the thousands of you guys who are on here, guys, I will get a black marker probably at the end of it. But just know that I'm giving you some cool shit, so let's go. Okay. Now, so when we go in, guys, when we look at this stuff, I want you guys to look at this from a perspective of land in this 50%. 100% of everything we do is comp-based, guys. It's all comp-based, okay? Everything is comp-based. If you guys learn nothing more than this right here today, this is where people fall short. The banks function a specific way, ladies and gentlemen, and it's just like the house casinos. If you go to Vegas, they're not building billion-dollar casinos because these casinos are losing money. They function on a house set of rules that gives them a 4% odd in their advantage. That 4% leverage that the casinos have make them billions and billions of dollars. If you functioned on that same set of house rules as the casinos, you would have that same upper hand, and you'd walk out of there with thousands or millions or whatever dollars that you invest into gambling. The problem is we don't know those rules as well as they do, and they don't teach them, do they? Do they? No. Banks function on a house set of rules because what do banks make money on? On making money on money, right? Serving a debt service. Now, can we agree that if we understood how banks worked, we would be more successful if we leverage the same set of house rules a bank utilizes than otherwise? Because think about it like this, guys. How many of you guys in school spent any time learning about lending and finance in school? Anybody? Any time? We spent 13,000 hours from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. Is 1 hour ever spent on learning how to teach you guys about banks and financing? Kind of have, maybe, okay? That's it. Oh, those are yellow. That's worse than red. That's a fucking highlighter. Hey, bro. Hey, can you do me a favor? Bro, do you guys have black markers? Black or blue, bro? Black or blue? Black or blue? Okay. The same colors when you beat someone's ass. Black and blue. Okay? Okay. Hey, so watch. Listen, guys. When we go in, guys, the banks, guys, listen to this. Okay? Listen. What I teach isn't taboo, guys. It's not foreign. It's foreign to you guys because they don't teach this stuff in school. But understand that if you function the way banks function, you'd understand that you're not as important as you think you are. How many of you guys in here have an 800 credit score? How many of you guys have an 800 credit score? Okay. God bless your hearts. I've never had an 800 credit score in my entire life. I use my credit like a stolen car, man. I beat the shit out of it, man. I'm always buying and selling stuff. I just got an alert this morning that my credit score dropped 25 points this morning. Probably because I just bought 2 cars that are worth over $1 million. And so if you understand how I do them, guys, you guys will be back. Oh my God, it's ingenious. And have some posts on that. But here's the thing, guys. If you guys understand how banks work, they're looking at the value of an asset. They don't give a shit about you. They want to make sure you're going to pay them back like you're a heartbeat. But really what they're looking at is they're looking at the asset. Because if you die tomorrow, how is that asset going to get paid off? Does that make sense? And so most people sit back and they feel like they're the determining factor. It doesn't matter if you have an 800 credit score, guys. God bless your heart for having an 800 credit score. I have never fucking had an 800 credit score. But you know what I do have? I have over $600 million of shit I own and over $150 million under construction. And I have over $300 million in loans right now with less than an 800 credit score because I understand this shit right here. Make sense? My man. Thank you, bro. Okay. Now, the big comps are part of that, guys. Comps are part of that. Not really, but
We're looking at it.
I carry one with me for this reason, but it's dry. I was like, shit, man, it's been that long. So I pulled it out the other day and it's dry. So I threw it. Okay. So here's the thing, guys. This is important. Let me not get interrupted on this part because I don't want to lose you guys here. When you go in and you look at houses, guys, the value of that house is all in the comps. Good gosh. Kind of. Okay. So it's all in the comps, guys. Everything's in the comps. If that house doesn't have a value that hits that comps, don't do it. Because the banks are going to look at exactly what I'm looking at for resale profits as what they're looking at to collateralize the asset. Some of you guys are sitting back trying to save money to be able to do this. It's wrong, the wrong thing to do. You can go out and create equity in an asset just by building something and developing something that has a large spread of equity in it, and you can go in with very little to no money out of your own pocket. And the reason is because you're collateralizing the equity that you're creating out of the asset itself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you could go in and you could collateralize this right here against this build right here if you buy it right. But how do you buy it right? You got to understand how to underwrite it, yeah? Okay? So one of the biggest things, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you guys, and look, guys, I'll just say this, I'm not ICE. I know that I said this in San Diego the other day and in El Paso, and no one raised their hands, guys. I'm not ICE. I'm not going to deport you guys. I promise. Okay? How many of you guys are immigrants to this country? Raise your hands. Okay? Why'd you come to this country, sir?
So first, I'm from Guatemala. I came here when I was 17 years old.
Why?
So the thing is here, like there's more opportunity.
Exactly.
The thing is like here, like many people come from all over the world, right? And you network with them.
Yep. And that's what the Golden Gate Bridge is. That's the Golden Gate, man. That's where you come, the Golden Gate of freedom, right? Yeah. That's the Golden Gate. That's the Golden Gate Bridge, is it not? When you saw the Golden Gate Bridge from the sunset, the bridge looked gold, and they just knew they were coming to America. Why'd you come here?
I was here, my parents brought me here when I was a kid.
Why?
Better future.
Better future, right? Look, ladies and gentlemen, we live in the best fucking country in the world, guys. With all the problems and bullshit that we have, we still live in the best country in the world. When it comes to business opportunity and entrepreneurship, this is the land of freedom. This is the land of opportunity. Don't let these bullshit laws, these socialist bullshit rules that they're trying to do to you, don't let them take your freedom away from you, guys. We live in the best country in the world when it comes to freedom and opportunity. The biggest problem is that the people that are immigrants will have more opportunity, become successful quicker than you guys because of the bullshit that you guys got fed by the Rockefellers school systems that you guys fell into. To my benefit, I was dyslexic. I rode the short bus to school. And so I didn't learn shit in school. So I didn't go through the same education system because I saw I was colorblind to the system because I was dyslexic and I sucked at school. But to my benefit, I never lost my creativity. That's why I've probably done so well. Make sense? And so for those of you guys that have done well in school, I appreciate that. But you will have a harder time getting over what I'm talking about today because I got to wash all that brainwashing of bullshit that you were fed in our U.S. education systems out of your brain because the Rockefellers put this school system together, not to teach you guys how to go out and take advantage of the American dream, but to go out and be good employees for their companies. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you guys were taught to be slaves to their company.
Absolutely.
Okay? So what's that?
It didn't teach common sense or critical thinking.
Yep, and they didn't teach any of that stuff. And the most uncommon thing on this earth today is common sense. And so the benefit that immigrants have is they don't have all that bullshit in their brains. So a lot of times we see that immigrants do better quicker. Okay, so just understand, guys, that pay attention to what I'm saying here about comps. Now, let's take a look at this real quick. So I'm going to underwrite this two different ways, and I want to make sure I get through this with you guys. The banks are looking at these comps, guys. Understand that. Okay, not your credit. They're looking at your credit, but that comp means more to them. So they're looking at the value of this house. You probably have a 1,500 square foot house. It's probably $1 million. Okay, you know, here in California, in the Bay Area. Now it comes with a piece of land back here, and let's say that this house lands up costing like $1.2 million because of the land in the back. So they sell it for $1.2 million. Okay, for this old home. You could come in, you could renovate that house. You could spend another $100,000 on renovating this house and sell this house for the $1.2 million that you paid for the whole piece of land. Essentially, you're getting the land for free. If the land holds a $200,000 value, you basically made $200K on this right here when you sell it through your fix and flip. But what you're really doing is you're taking the land value. These things suck, guys. Okay, I've never had such shitty markers. Okay, can you guys even see that?
No.
Okay, I'm just going to use this red one. You guys can at least see that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this 200K. Okay, you guys following me here? We paid $1.2 million for this whole lot with a house. The house was built in 1923, right? You guys have a lot of old homes out here, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so you come in, you put $100,000 into this house to put some lipstick on a pig, and you sell that thing. You exercise condo laws, and now this lot still stays one lot. You don't even have to short plat it, but you go in and you permit this house back here. You have to create an easement and common area for the house to be built. But this is the same thing as the land, okay, right here. Now, I want you guys to think about this from a perspective of who's your buyer, okay? Our buyers in our market, guys, are the upper middle class, okay? You guys do not want to play it safe, and you do not want to go in and play with the median buyers at all, okay? So what we do, guys, is 74% of our population is our median buyers, okay? Here in California, the average median home is between $600,000 to $800,000, okay? That's your median home value prices. It's actually closer to that, okay? So 74% of the U.S. is right here. Your median in California is a little bit higher. Now, the 2% is your ultra wealthy. You don't want to focus here either. When markets volatility happens, this is where it happens right here, is it happens in the 74 percentile rate. These people get screwed, guys. They don't have enough expendable income. The average person, guys, 85% of our population, if their income varies by $500 a month, within 60 days, they'll be delinquent on their mortgage, their car payments, and their credit cards in 60 days. Real life statistic, guys. 85% of these people right here, guys, 60 days away from being delinquent on everything. So if there's market volatility and you have lower profits because these builders are building in volume, you land up compressing your profits. The reason that I don't like fix and flipping is because fix and flipping, this is where you're hitting, guys. So if you go in, the average fix and flip makes about $40,000. Here in California, it might be $60,000, $80,000. But when the market compresses, and if that house value drops by $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, you're screwed. You either don't make money, or you make such a small amount of money, you're better off flipping hamburgers and working over at In-N-Out Burger. Yeah, because that fix and flip's going to take you 4 to 6 months to do, is it not? Yeah, you're taking on the risk, you're taking on the mortgage, you're taking on all that bullshit for that type of profit. Screw that, guys. Go do something else. Go do something else. It's not worth it. The risk is too high. How many of you guys have been in that position before? An inspector shows up, you're trying to race through it so that you don't get caught, and then all of a sudden they show up and they say, you got to upgrade all the electrical, all the plumbing, increases your price by $30,000, $40,000. That's your profit. You're like, now you're sweating the whole way through the bill, trying to cut corners to put lower end shit in there so that you can even just make a profit or even just get out of the damn thing. How many of you guys, that's a familiar story? Okay, that's fix and flipping. That's why I don't do that bullshit. That's like Russian roulette, because what you do is you're putting a bullet in the chamber and you're going, okay, I'm going to get through one more fix and flip. I got through it. I made a little bit of profit. I think I could do one more, baby. One more. Like, whew, I got through one more, baby. But is it the third time, the fourth time, the second time? When is that bullet going to blast your head open and kill your ass in that one fix and flip, guys? And that's fix and flipping, is it not? Am I bullshitting you, or is that real? It's real, guys. Fuck that game, man. Don't be doing that stuff, guys. You come in, you control it based on comps, guys. You control it right here based on comps. So what we do is we function on the 24% of the upper middle class, okay? Why? Because right here, guys, you don't have to go in and put as much money, if any at all, with the banks. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, the banks like this better because the banks are collateralizing an asset based on comps. If there's very little profit in this right here, and you only have 40K, and the banks are going to go in and lend you money on this, 40K of this isn't shit. You can't even get a loan. So guess where the money has to come from? From you. When you have profit, guess where the money comes from? If you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit. So let's look at it. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Now we go in, guys. We have a new house. Comps in the area. We're serving the upper middle class. We're serving the retirees, the people that sold homes. They bought them 20 years ago, 30 years ago. They've appreciated. They paid them $250,000 for them. They sold it for $1.5 million. They have $1 million in cash that they have that they're pulling out. They function on the capital gains rules, but they don't pay no taxes on $500,000 of it. Now they come in and they buy your house. It's the doctors, the lawyers, the attorneys. It's the scientists. It's the self-employed people that own the little supply houses, the restaurants, and all these places down the street in your neighborhoods that live in those neighborhoods, guys. It's the upper middle class. Are these people rich? Most of them aren't. But do they do well? Yes, they do. Those people in market compressions, they still have money. But the difference is that these people, ladies and gentlemen, are more sophisticated. And they know they will spend money. In 2008, during the recession, do I have you guys here? Yeah?
Yeah.
Do I have your attention? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. In the 2000, you don't know what's going on?
I'm following along as much as I can.
That's okay,
You're
man.
doing a great job.
Hey, it's a lot of shit. Did you think you were going to get this much shit in the
Absolutely
morning?
not.
Okay. I'm going to give you guys everything. You know why? Because you ain't going to understand it anyways. No, I'm just joking. You'll get it, bro. Just understand this. It's a process. And that's why, bro, thank you. That's why I'm going to invite you guys to this workshop. When you come spend a fucking weekend with me doing this, you'll have some light at the end of the tunnel. Okay? So watch. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Listen, 2008, guys. 2008. It's a housing crisis. Lehman Brothers collapses, okay? I own all these friggin' companies. And my dad used to tell me, he goes, I don't know why you just don't focus on one thing. My dad's my accountant. My dad was an accountant for 32 years, worked for the public service company. And my dad was doing my books. And he used to tell me all the time, he's like, why don't you just focus on one thing? Why are you so spread out? Why are you doing this stuff? And he goes, and he was always on my back, busting my balls because he's an ultra conservative. Love my dad to death. I'm so blessed and grateful that they're still around and I still have them. But I'll tell you guys that comes to me in the 2008 recession. Goes, damn, it's a really good thing that you are so diversified. Thanks, Pops. Thanks. And it was funny, guys, is that in 2008, we really didn't feel the recession until about October of 2008. We felt it. We were still in denial. Then there was and follow me here if you went through the 2008 recession, guys, because we lived it, eat it, and breathe it. It's about this, November, December, you really felt it. December, you knew shit was fucked. Like if you were in it, December of 2008, you were sitting back going, oh shit, this is real. Like you go to subdivisions, guys, I just got this tingle through my whole body. It's got the chills for a second. You go into subdivisions, guys, where you at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, pop, 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 pop. You hear all those saws and hammers? That shit's music to my ears. Because in 2008, in December, January, I go to a job site, not a freaking sound, just dead silence. I go to Home Depot and I wished I had something that I could buy. I did. I literally walk around. I was like, damn, I wish I had a project I could put some fucking plywood on, And you had nothing. It was dead quiet, guys. And at a time where it was a housing crisis, guys, we went through the whole year. By March, we saw a little bit of light. By April, I was like, fuck, we're going to make it through this. But there was 4 months with the phones. I pick up the phones in my office. I ask the girls, are the phones working? You guys call and I literally pick them up just to make sure they had a dial tone. Because you go in that office any other time, you can't even breathe. You can't even get anything done because those phones just ring, ring, ring all damn day. It drives me crazy, right? But it's good. It is good. But I would sit back and I was like, holy shit, it was crickets in our office. Crickets, man, just dead silence. I pick up the phones, are those things working? I pick them up, nothing, guys. Dial tone's there, but no calls coming in. By March, we're sitting back and we're getting a little bit of business again. The end of the year comes. My dad does my books. He's doing our W-2s and 1099s. When do they do, guys? End of January, right? By the 15th of February back then. My dad comes to me. He goes, hey, you're going to have a big tax bill. You better start saving up for it right now. And I said, what do you mean? He sent me an email that says I'm going to owe $812,000 in taxes. I still remember that email. I said, oh, my dad fucked up. I was like, no way. You messed up. You missed a zero someplace. I know I didn't make no money last year because I was sending all that money away in payments on buildings because of this type of shit back in 2008. And it was called, me and my wife called it trash can money. We were literally throwing over $100,000 a month in payments away on buildings that weren't cash flowing at that time. And we just called it trash can money, guys. And we're just throwing that money at it. But at the end of the year, I go, there's no way, Dad. He goes, I go, we didn't make enough money. He goes, yeah, you did. He goes, you made money on the houses. I said, there's no way we made money on the house. I fire sold everything. He goes, no, you made money on every single house. So we went back and we audited every single house, guys, that we had sold. We sold over 30 homes that year. The least amount of profit that we had made on a house was $48,000. The second worst one was $52,000. And I sat back in end of January, early February of 2009, and I sat back and I go, holy shit, man. I said, I called all my subcontractors and I said, we're going to build, guys. We're going to build. I said, we're going to figure this out. I'm going to land up just changing some stuff. Instead of you guys going in and giving me a bid, I'm going to go in and tell you guys what I can afford. You can say yes or no. All the contractors that said yes and stayed with me, they're still in business. All the ones that didn't, I think all of them went out of business. If they made it, God bless their hearts, but I think most of them went out of business. And most of them stayed with me. But we started building high quality products, guys. And these buyers right here, these guys right here, they pay for quality. Okay? And so our business model has stayed there. And we went in and we went from making about 110 to 130,000 a house down to making 80,000 a house. But how is $80,000 on every single house in a time when it's a housing crisis, guys, and we're still making money? How many of you guys would have been okay with $80,000 profit? Yes. Okay. So that's where this business model evolved from, is I sat back and said, holy shit, we're still making money selling houses in a housing crisis, guys. And it was because we got lucky that we had already hit this demographic. I'm not that smart, guys. I didn't do that on purpose. I hit that demographics on accident. I just recognized it in 2008 that I had the perfect audience. And so when I tell you guys, I didn't build this business model for you, I built it for me. I truly built it for me, not for you guys. I just share it with you guys. Make sense?
Yeah.
It's the same shit that I'm doing for my son, my daughter, his coach, Heath, that has helped him. The same coach that called me today, he's building houses now. My camera guy, guys, Alec, if you guys have ever went to my event, he's 29 years old, just turned 29 3 days ago. He's been running cameras for me for 6 years. He just bought a $150,000 lot last week, tied it up to build his very first home. You know why? I didn't even help him. He's been behind the camera watching my shit for the last 6 years. I asked him one day, I go, Alec, how much do you owe on your house? He goes, $305,000. I go, how much is it worth? He goes, I bought it for $380,000. I go, you think you can sell it for $400,000? He said, yes. I said, yes, 2 young boys and he's married. His wife's a nurse. I go, Alec, let's fucking pay that thing off this year. I said, how would that change your life? He goes, oh man. He has his kids in private school. He runs a camera business that I helped him with. He was working at T-Mobile when he first started working for me. And then after 2 months, he quit at T-Mobile. He's been self-employed since for 6 years. He makes over $250,000 a year gross, but he nets probably 100 and some thousand a year. 29 years old. He's building his very first home. He's going to pay his house off in 2026. He'll have no mortgage payment. I said, Alec, run your cameras, build 3, 4, 5 of these in your life. It'll change your life forever. By the time you're 30 years old next year, you won't have a mortgage. You'll live in a house in a better neighborhood that's worth $700,000 because we're going to build you your house at a $500,000 equity stake that you have $200,000+ in equity in, and you'll have a $750,000 house in a better neighborhood with a better house for your kids with no fucking mortgage. How is that for people, guys?
Yes.
He's a camera guy. You guys ever met Alec? Anybody ever met Alec? Have you guys ever seen Alec in the back? Dude, he's a camera guy. He's not he's smart. I'm not going to say he's smart. I'm not going to say it. Alec is smart. Because you know why he's smart though? Because he's been around me. That's why he's smart.
You know that
And I'll take that.
You know that 24% for what you build, you focus on that for both single families and multifamily?
No, multifamily is different, okay? But to make money, you guys have to do it like this. Now, when we go in, guys, that land is $200,000, okay? And let me show you the banking on this. You guys want to see the banking on this?
Yes.
Okay, here's the lending. The build cost on this is going to be right about $165. Well, here in California, you guys are going to be closer to about $200 a square foot. Okay, you guys will be closer to about $200K a square foot. The national average is $141. We're building in Kirkland, Washington for $185 a square foot. You guys won't build for what we're building for out in Kirkland. You're going to have to hire a general contractor. We did when we had a general contractor. We were building for about $195 a square foot. You're probably going to be closer to $200 a square foot out here. So your build cost is going to be $200 a square foot. Now, if this ADU is, let's say we could fit a 2,000 square foot ADU on that lot. That's a big ADU, huh? Like 1,500 square foot ADU? 1,200? 1,200? Okay. So let's say that we do a 1,200 square foot ADU.
You can put 2.
You put 2 of them?
You can put a junior ADU and a regular ADU.
Let's just go with one. Let's stress my model out. Let's do one. Let's just look at the worst case scenario. Not even now that's all new. That was this last year that they started doing that, right? That's what we're doing in the cottage code. We take one house in Kirkland, Washington. We wipe it down. Well, we don't even wipe it down anymore. I donate the house to this church, this nonprofit. We lift it. It costs us $25,000 to lift it, put it on a semi truck. They take it. We donate it. We get the house appraised that we paid $850,000 for, and they appraise it at $550,000. We get a tax write-off, and then that $550,000 tax write-off is equivalent to about $200,000 in revenue that we don't have to pay in taxes. Worth $25,000, yeah? And then we put 4 to 6 homes on every lot up there through the cottage codes, through condominium law, okay?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay, so 1,200 square feet, okay? That's abbreviation for square foot. Now, our cost, how much will this 1,200 square foot ADU sell for here in California, more or less?
Depends the area.
Yeah, it depends on the area. Upper middle class area, guys, not a shitty area. Upper middle class.
700.
800,000?
Upper area, 1.2.
1.2, because upper median, you can't, if a $200,000 lot, if I look at it like this, you can't sell it. So I would leave that area. So if you go to an area that's 800,000, I can't pay that much because it exceeds this number right here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I want your brain to absorb this, because if you're in an area and you're thinking an area is going to do it for 800,000, and this land value is 200, this is perfect scenario, guys, perfect scenario, okay? And this is what you're gonna learn at the workshop. You don't have to get it all today. You're gonna come to Miami with me, so I'm gonna teach you how to do this. This $200,000, guys, can't exceed the 15 to 20% value. The 1.2 million that she's talking about is what that thing has to sell for in order to make the profit that's worth your time that hits this demographic. Because if you're doing this right here at 800,000, you're hitting this demographic based on this. Does that make sense? You need to go to a more affluent area, okay? Because it's too high risk, and I'll explain why here in a second. So if we go $1.2 million, and my niece lives here, she's an attorney, and my niece just bought how big was that house she told me? It's friggin' small. It's small. It's like that. It's like 1,500 square feet. And the house was built, it's over 100 years old. They had like foundation issues, and they're paying $1 million for it. And it's tiny. It's like a little, I think it's less than 1,500 square feet. It's fucking ridiculous small. Anyways, I said, you like the house? She goes, yeah. I said, then let's fix the foundation. I told my niece. So anyways, we go in, guys, 1,200 square feet, $1.2 million. We're building at $200 a square foot, so we're gonna build a nice product. What's 1,200 times $200,000? For times $200, guys. $200 times 1,200. What is it?
140.
240? Okay, let's take that thing up and let's even spend a little bit more, really make it nice. Let's spend like 275. Is that cool? And just really do it right. Let's say that we have some improvements, because here's what happens with ADUs, guys. They'll come in, they're gonna make you do the road improvements, the utility improvements, the driveway improvements. So your bill cost, because of the offsite improvements, goes up a little bit. So let's say it costs you closer to even $300,000 to get all of those improvements done. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say our bill cost is $300K, okay? Or let's say that it's a little bigger, whatever it is, but $300K for our bill cost. Now, we have $200K, $300K, that's $500,000 in cost. This is an important number because this is our banking number for what we need from the bank. If you want the bank to pay for the land, whether it's a vacant lot or it's an ADU, it doesn't matter, guys. You got to look at this from a perspective of banking. Now, if you find a lot and the lot's $200,000, $250,000, you can find a vacant lot. There's areas right out here that are more affluent that you can find land. The land's going to be probably between $200,000 and $300,000 for a nice lot in a nice neighborhood. Yeah? Okay. Now, when we go in, we're going to go in and we may sell this and not make a lot of profit, but if we have the land free and clear, we really made $200,000. Now, we're going to have closing costs. What's 6% of $1.2 million? 70,000? 70K? Okay. Now, our debt service on all of this is going to be about $30,000. We'll probably have about $7,000 to $10,000 in fees, and then we're going to have some interest payments on that. So we're going to have about $30,000 in lending fees. This is your debt service. Don't forget about debt service. People forget about this, but this is a real number. This is the number that's important, but this number right here are still involved. That's another $100,000. So your total cost, guys, total cost is $600,000. Okay? So even if we sold this asset at $1.1 million, and we sold it for a little less at $1.1 million, that's still a $500,000 net profit, guys. I don't think you'll make that much. I think that we're skewed here. I think this has to be bigger, or our bill or our resale price is a little lower. I really think you'll make closer to about $400,000. Okay, and I'll just be honest with you guys. I already know these numbers inside and out. So, but I think you guys would make closer to about $400,000. Okay, so if you have $400K in equity here, look at this play, guys. And I think if this is like 1,500 square feet, and it depends on the municipality. But if you go in, guys, and let's say that this is $400,000 in deal cost. Okay, I'm just stressing my own business model, guys. I'm trying to put as much stress on my business model as humanly possible. What I'm getting at for you guys is there's so much profitability on what we do that you can stress this thing out. Even if you fuck shit up, and even if the inspector comes over and you don't do shit all the way right, you still have a little bit of buffer room to pad just in case shit doesn't go right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You could hire a general contractor. What's that? Oh, my God, that's the one I've been looking for. This one will work. Thank you. I knew we'd get it at the end. Okay, now we go in, guys. Let's say we have this $400,000. Okay, We go in, you see this spreadsheet right here? You guys see this?
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing not spin?
There's a clip on the bottom.
Oh, yeah. This is easy. Okay. All right, guys. We go in, guys. We have this $400,000 net profit. We have a $1.1 million asset, okay? This is what the bank is working at. I call it an asset because this is what the bank is looking at. How do we know? Because comps told us that asset's worth $1.1 million. If there's no comps, we don't build in that area. What do you build? You build exactly what's selling in that area. We look at the highest price per square foot on resale value and days on market. Those two things. Those are the only two things you need to worry about. You need to look at the highest price per square foot that it's sold at and days on the market. If I get a good resale price and a comp that shows really high return, but the days on the market are exponential and it's too high risk, screw that. I want the next comp. I want the house that has, I'd rather take a little bit of a loss of profitability and sell the damn thing quick than sit on it like a dumbass and try to make an extra $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. It ain't worth it because your risk variable goes up. Remember what I told you guys about trash can money and my wife and I throwing payments away? Every month that you're throwing payments away, you're decreasing your profitability. Get rid of the damn thing. Take your profitability. You look at highest days on market with the lowest. You look at highest price per square foot with lowest days on the market. That's what you build. I'm looking at both those two things. So if I can make a $500,000 profit, but it sits on the market for 280 days, screw that thing. If I can go in and make a $380,000 profit and it sits on the market for 24 days, that's what I'm building. And I'm going to look at that comp and I'm going to build exactly that house. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's all I'm going to do. And I'm just going to copy exactly what they're doing. And I'm going to make it just as nice and maybe even a little nicer than that one because that one's sold. And I'm just going to copy exactly what they're doing. I'll change the elevation, maybe a couple small things on it, and I'll just build the same damn house. Make sense?
Yeah.
Don't reinvent the wheel, guys. You go in, all you do is if there's proof of concept and the comps support it, that's what you build, okay? Now, we go in, the comps support this $1.1 million. We have a 1,500 square foot asset. We go in, and if our total cost in is what do we have? 700 grand now. So we have $700,000 in, okay, all in. Now, our bill cost is probably going to be somewhere close to about $600,000. So we need lending of a minimum of $600,000, okay? Now, we go in, we need lending. If it's an investment loan, the banks will give you about 75% loan to cost or loan to value, okay? So if they're willing to give me 75%, we're going to underwrite this on the spreadsheet. There's going to be two spreadsheets that you guys have. One is for execution. One is for the bank. This one is going to be underwritten for $600K. This is going to be the land because that way you don't have to pay for the land. Okay? If you separate and sell this off, you can collateralize this. Let's say you have to pay for that land. It's $200,000, guys, that you guys have to have. 200 grand on this thing. So you have the land, you have all your dirt work, you have the dirt, your foundation, your framing labor, drywall, electrical, plumbing, mechanical, your insulation, your roofing, your trim out, your appliances, landscaping, driveways, everything, all the way down. $600,000. Then you go to the bank, the asset's worth $1.1 million. The banks do not expect you guys to work for free. And here's the thing, guys. How many people walk in with equity on a home nowadays? Anybody? Anybody buying homes with a bunch of equity on the home? Or are the sellers taking 100% of that equity? The sellers are taking 100% of that equity. So when you go in, you underwrite this, you're going to underwrite this in between 1 million and 1.1. You can underwrite between 1 million to $1.1 million, full retail value of that asset. And the banks are okay with that because they're only going to give you 75% of this anyways. So you're going to have the exact same stuff on this spreadsheet. What do you put on this spreadsheet? Everything that I already have in these blank lines. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what you don't have right here. This is what you need. How to fill this out is what you really need. What the cost is to be able to build it is what you really need. When you guys come into Miami on September 27th and 28th, that whole first day in the morning is this spreadsheet right here. Is to understand exactly how to underwrite this stuff to get money, how to manipulate this so you don't have to have money out of your own pocket. So when you go in, we underwrite this with the exact same things. but we go in with, we talk about the land, the framing, the lumber, the electrical, the plumbing, everything, all the way down. This is what we value it at. We increase this by 15 to 20%. And if we take 75% of $1 million, how much is that, guys? $750,000, yeah? So the bank's willing to give you $750,000 collateralized against this $1.1 million asset. The bank has $350,000 in equity in this asset. How is the bank doing if you default on a finished asset? How are they doing?
Great.
They're doing great, right? Do they give a shit about your 800 credit score?
No.
Not at all. You know why? You're dead to them now. They have an asset that's worth $350,000. That's what they're looking at. When I do an apartment complex, they're looking at the asset value that's on the other side of this board. They're looking at what that thing was worth at stabilized value. So in the afternoon, on the 27th and 28th, guess what we're doing? We're going through the multifamily underwriting spreadsheet to teach you guys how to underwrite a 6-unit, an 8-unit, a 10-unit apartment complex that I'm going to show you really quick here in just a second. Now, this right here, guys, this $750,000, the bank, some of you guys are sitting back going, okay, where does the money come from to make the payments? It's called interest reserve.
Yes.
What they do with interest reserve is they take it from your proceed amount. What is our proceed amount, guys? $750,000 is our proceed amount. Okay? If our debt service is $30,000, they're going to give you this minus your proceed amount, and they're going to take it from your proceeds. That way you don't have to make payments while you're building the house. And so they take it, so it's $750 minus that $30,000. So they're going to give you $720,000. This cost right here is once you close. And that comes out of the resale of the house. You don't have that expense until you sell it. So now you have $720,000. You're not going to spend the extra $120,000. All you need is $600,000 to go in, buy the land for you without money out of your pocket. Because now you have equity, ladies and gentlemen, and the asset itself is carrying the weight of that asset. The bank is collateralizing the asset itself against the money. Now we go in and we build a house, and you have very little to no money out of pocket. You do have to work these numbers. You have to understand how the spreadsheet works. It's very important, right? When we do the workshop, when I go through this, you have to understand how this spreadsheet works. It's not as cut and dry as just putting the numbers on there and handing it to the bank. There is ways that you have to be able to go in. So there's some expense that you're going to have to do this. It's called the process, guys. You guys have 5 more minutes in you? Yeah. You sure? Is this worth the time that you guys are getting? How many of you guys thought you were going to get this much shit today? Any of you guys? How many of you guys, this is the first time you've seen me before? Raise your hands again. Okay, how many of you guys are damn fucking glad you came today? Okay? Is this good shit? You ever got shit this good of stuff for free before? No, you know what? I don't make money doing this shit, guys. I make money building shit. So I don't give a shit. I'll give it all to you. They're like, why do you give all this information? Fuck, I ain't in competition with you. You're not even going to catch me. I'll give you everything I have. You know why? Because if you guys go out and you kick ass, God bless your hearts, man. And you guys will invest in my deals. You'll love me forever. And you guys will even pray for me. You know what? I will give you all the shit I have because I don't make money in education, guys. I make money fucking building shit. Make sense?
That's right.
That's where I make money. Okay, so understand that. Now, there's what's called the process. Okay, the process, you're going to need an architect, you're going to need a surveyor, and you're going to need engineers. Here in California, nationwide, that's about $15,000. Here in California, it's going to cost you about $30K, okay, to get this out of the ground. Okay, now, I got bridge lenders for you guys. I got people all day long that'll give you $30,000, even if your credit's not perfect, guys. And here's what's cool, is that when you do this spreadsheet right here to the bank, you spend this money for here in California, it's going to take you 6 months to get one out of the ground, okay? But it's a 6-month bill. That a little 1,500 square foot, it's really a 4-month bill, okay? So we go in, we do a 4-month bill that takes you guys 6 months. In 1 year, guys, once you guys go in and you go through this, the second you get your loan for the $720,000, we underwrite that expense in your soft cost right here. You invoice that back out to the bank. The bank reimburses you for your money that you spent on your soft cost. And now you're $0 out of pocket for it. Then guess what you do the second you break ground on this first bill? You take that money and you go do another one. You start your second one. because it's gonna take you 6 months. By the time you're done with this one, building it, you have another one that's permit ready. How cool is that?
Awesome.
Okay? And you're doing it with the same $30,000, and all you're doing is you're just revolving this capital. All you're doing is getting it back right here. Okay? Now, when we go back in, guys, this right here is what's going to give you cash. When you get this stuff done, this is what the bank needs, and this is what you need for permits. You can't get, these go hand in hand. You can't get bank lending without permits, and you can't get permits and build it without money. So these go hand in hand. The reason that I teach this shit is because this is how you go in and make money. The reason I tell you guys to stay in the upper 74%, in the 24%, and not focus on the lower demographics of money earners is this reason right here. If we go in and we do this $800,000 build and we pay $200,000 for this house, here's what happens. $200,000 for the land, here's what happens. You do $200K. Now, if we take that same $600,000 in a lower area, we're at $800K, right? So now we have to build a lower, less affluent product, okay? Because now we have $200,000 in the land, okay? Based on the same business model. Now, even if we cut $100,000 out and give it back, and we go back to that $200,000, that's still $500,000, okay? That's still $500K. Now, so we still end up with $100,000 in profitability, okay? Which sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds good, right? We have $100,000 in profitability. Here's the problem, okay? We go to the bank, it's only underwriting at $800,000. So if we take 75, take your phones out, give me 75% of $800,000, guys. 600,000. It's $600,000, okay? So we have $600K in lending, okay? Now, we need $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 to build it. You're $100,000 short, and you haven't even done your interest reserve. Guess where that other $130,000 has to come from? Your pocket. Some of you guys sit back and go, I want to go with a smaller build because I want to play it safe. You think that number's safer because it's $800,000. That number ain't fucking safe. That number's going to wear your ass out like an old fucking rag.
That's why you're going up to the upper middle class.
That's why you go to the upper middle class. That's fix and flipping, guys. You can't get a loan like that. You go in, it's going to cost you more money. The bank ain't going to take on that liability. The bank's not going to go in with that $100,000. It's too much liability on the bank. It doesn't matter if you have an $800 credit score. The bank don't give a shit about your $800 credit score. What they care about is the asset value based on comps, ladies and gentlemen. So you go in, you build an $800,000 house. It's going to cost you $500 to build, $200 to close. You can't even do the debt service. You go in with a $100,000 deficit plus the debt service. You have to come up with the other $120,000. Why the fuck would you go in with lower shit when the bank is willing to give it to you if you just build it in equity, manning up and going in with a bigger asset? The biggest mistake I made when I was younger is I didn't go big enough fast enough. I was always trying to make money pouring fucking concrete to get to my next project because I didn't understand this shit. And I was working my ass like a slave because I didn't understand this. I did that shit for 15 years, guys. When I finally figured this out in 2012, I went from over $20 million net worth to over $600 million net worth because of this right here. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because I, just like my son, I stopped being a pussy. Make sense? Yeah. And the day you man up and you stop being a puss is the day you make it work. Stop playing it safe, guys. Playing it safe is not playing it safe. I used to call that, oh, my sweet spot is $8 million. It wasn't a sweet spot. That sweet spot almost took me under. Does that make sense? I'm way better off in a $50 million asset than I am an $8 million asset because it produces more cash. The more cash that asset produces, the safer I am. Make sense? Yeah. Okay? Stop playing it safe. You've been playing it safe your whole life. How has it done for you? You're here today. God bless your hearts. How many of you guys are here because you guys want to play fucking tiddlywinks, or how many of you guys want to go out and make some fucking money? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a choice. Let me tell you guys something, and I'm going to end on this, okay? And I'm going to show you guys one last thing before we end. I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to tell you guys this, okay? I want you guys to be able to have that QR code. So I'll spin this one back around so you guys have the QR code. In your phones, guys, you guys don't make a mistake. And I'll tell you guys, we sold out. We do 250 tickets to our Build Wealth Workshop, guys. 250. We sold out right away. We marketed it for 5 months. We sold out way too quick. So I got a slightly larger venue, and I went ahead and approved to go to 300 people because we sold out too fast. We don't have very many tickets, guys. So if you guys don't buy them, it just gives me an opportunity to go sell more to somebody else. Get your ass from San Francisco to Miami on September 27th to 28th. It's the only weekend that I'm available, guys. When people say, "Oh, I'll just go to the next one," there may not be a next one. For sure, there won't be one until 2026. It probably won't be until the end of the school year because my son's a senior this year. I won't miss one of his football games. The only weekend that I'm available is September 27th and 28th. And the reason why is because it's his only bye week on football. The rest of the weeks, guys, I ain't missing his football games to come in and train you guys. You guys, I set this up methodically. I didn't set this thing up until I had his football schedule for this year. The second I got my son's football schedule, I set it up. My daughter's a cheerleader. She was a competitive gym. Both my kids were competitive gymnasts, both nationally ranked gymnasts. And I won't miss any of their competitions. I won't miss any of that stuff. And I'll tell you guys, I set it up. It's the only weekend that I'm available to do this for you guys. This workshop is fucking instrumental in your lives. It will change your life. It will change your life. And they've gotten better since this is the last ones that we've done because I've learned more. And I've only done 4 of these ever. And so if you get an opportunity, guys, get your ass there. I don't need them. Guys, I do them for free. I have a venue to pay for and staff. It cost me about $100,000. By the time I pay for the AV, the chairs, I feed you guys. You guys come in with your guys' registration, lunch is included. And so you guys get lunch. I don't want you guys to get up. I turned it from a 1-day event to a 2-day event because I realized something. After doing a 1-day event, I send you out with all this information, but I don't send you guys out with the most important thing, how to go out and compound that money and how to utilize it once you guys make it. And so we started getting a lot of people coming back. So day number 2, on Sunday, I do what's called Millionaire Workshop. Millionaire Workshop, I put together to teach you guys how millionaires and billionaires compound money. So that way, when you go out and make $300,000 doing one of these builds, you don't spend $400,000. Does that make sense? I go in and teach you guys how to take that $300,000 that you make and how to compound it into over $2 million of lending power. Make sense? So on Sunday, what I do is I teach you guys how to protect your money and how to compound your money on Sunday. We get started at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, guys. We don't fuck around. And I tell you guys this because I want you guys to be able to fly home that evening. Because we go solid, no lunch. We start at 8 a.m. and we go until 1:30 p.m. and then you guys are off. And we go solid. I have coffee there for you guys. I have Danishes and continental breakfast for you guys. I feed you guys so you guys don't have to leave any place. When we did this in Nashville 4 months ago, I was floored. If you guys have ever been to my big events in Vegas where I have thousands of people in a room, I pay over $1 million to put those events on. Guys, Sunday mornings, people are exhausted. We have maybe like 60% of our people in that audience. They're great events, but there's like 60%. I have never in my life been to an event with more than on a Sunday morning, especially at 8 a.m., where there's like 60% where there's more than 60% of the audience there. It fills in throughout the day, but never. When we did Nashville, I rolled in. I went to the gym. I showed up at 7:59 in the morning, guys, to walk on stage. We were 95% filled. I had never seen anything like this in my entire life. I freaked out. I went to Rick and I went to Yessie and my team and I go, no shit. I go, fucking everybody's here. It's Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Within 15 minutes, we were 100% filled up. There was not a fucking chair missing, guys, on Sunday morning. You know why? Because think about what I just did for you guys in the last hour and a half. Think about that compounded over 2 days. Where will you go in 2 days with that level of information? And I will function at this level of energy for 2 days straight for you guys at the age of 51 years old, and we will fucking kick ass doing it. All right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay? You guys okay with that? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. We'll do a couple calls before the event, too. So you guys will land up with some free calls from me. So when you guys go to the event, I don't want you guys to go from here and then in next 40, 50 days that you guys have between now and the event, just sitting there waiting. So you guys are going to, anybody who registers today is also going to get a free 1 or 2 calls between now and the event. And I'm going to set you guys up. You guys are going to get these electronic spreadsheets because they're awesome. These books, guys, is my business in a book, guys. You guys are going to get this whole book electronically. This book ain't worth a shit on hardback. Like, it's great. I mean, it's cool. But this is every spreadsheet that I've ever had to run my business when we were doing 57 homes a year, how we trained our staff, and how we actually do everything. Contractor guys, hiring checklists, everything. Everything you ever need here. Every freaking document, every PDF, every single form, everything that we've ever done is in this book. You're going to get that whole book and the spreadsheets to underwrite, so you can go to the banks like a fucking rock star. You can white label these, put your company logos on them, and go straight to the bank with these. We're gonna work through these on day number 1, and we're gonna show you guys how to get lending and go through these inside and out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, now, it's $790 to go there. If you register today for, I reward you guys for being decision makers, so it's $597. If you want to take a spouse, it's $200. If you want to take a spouse or a business partner to go down there, it covers, you guys have to get down into Miami on September 27th, 28th, but I will cover your food when you guys get down there. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, now, I don't care if you register or not. If you don't, yes, sir.
I got a question. So the 2497 one, is that just the front row and then getting hands-on?
Oh, for platinum you're talking about?
Platinum.
Yeah, platinum, bro, you're with me all weekend. You're going to come in, you're going to be volunteering with us, you're going to be backstage, you're going to set up with us, you're going to be with me all fucking weekend. You're going to eat lunch with me, you're going to go to dinner with me, we're going to be at Mr. Choi's on South Beach. I already rented the whole back end of the restaurant out in South Beach. If you guys were up in Nashville, if we were at the Gaylord, I rented the whole friggin' restaurant out for us. And there was nobody there but us, okay? And so, guys, when I go in, we don't fuck around. I don't go into these things to make money. I will spend your money on you guys. Does that make sense?
Yep.
When you guys go in, you go platinum, you guys sit up front with me and you guys go in and then after we leave the event, you're with me the rest of the night, the rest of the day, everywhere we go, you're with me. That makes sense?
Yeah, okay.
We shuttle you out to South Beach. We're going to go out to Mr. Choi's restaurant. That's different. I'll get that a little bit later. Yes, you in the back.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing the information, detailed information. I have a question on the ADU. So if you are on a single lot, if you are building an ADU, can you sell it separately than the main unit?
Yes, you can. Here in California, yes, you can. It's under condo law. It's the same. It's common properties. You have to put your restrictive covenants together, and you have to have them signed and stuff. An attorney will charge you about $10,000 to do it. If you're doing for that, they might even charge like $5,000 to do it. My attorneys for like more homes charge me like $15,000 up in Seattle to do it for like 20 homes. Does that make sense? For like 2-3 homes, there's common documents. I think you can get it done for like $5,000 now to put them together. I'll answer your questions here in a second, though. I'm going to stick around and I'm going to answer your guys' questions here in a second, so I'll help you with that stuff. It's all the ADU laws, and it all falls under condo law. Okay? Now, here's the thing, guys. Hang tight. Do you guys have another 2-3 minutes in you?
Yeah.
Okay. Because here's the problem, guys. When you do this, you're gonna have a tax problem. And if we go in and we make $300,000+, $400,000, whatever it is, you're gonna have to pay that in taxes. Okay? The reason the afternoons that we do this is because what ends up happening, guys, is this asset will be worth about $2.1 to $2.2 million based on average medium rents. I know here the average medium rent's like $3,000 a month, but it's like $1,700 a month. So on average, it'll be worth about $2.2 million on 8 units. What the IRS tells us is we can't depreciate land. So if the land cost us $300,000, you can't depreciate that, but you can take $1.9 million and depreciate this. With the big beautiful bill that Trump just passed, you could depreciate 100% of this in the very first year, year number 1. You could take 100% depreciation on $1.9 million through what's called cost segregation in year number 1. And what's cool about that is it never expires. So until you make $1.9 million in net taxable revenue, you pay 0 federal income taxes, guys.
Wow.
0 federal income taxes. So if you're working as a nurse, if you're working as a teacher, if you're working as a contractor, and if you're netting $100,000 a year to $150,000 a year, $200,000 a year, and you have an LLC, those are pass-through entities. So this taxes also defer back to your personal returns on your personal income that you're making in your full-time W-paid employee that they're paying you. And so you can go in and you can write off 100% of this to $1.9 million and pay no federal income taxes. So if they're taking money from your checks, you get a refund at the end of the year and you get 100% of your money back at the end of the year. Make sense? Okay? And if you do this $300,000 until you make $1.9 million, you pay no federal income taxes.
That's if
Okay.
you sell or if you keep it.
That's if you keep it. You build and hold. You don't sell it until you go bigger. You're going to sell it, don't sell it. You don't even have to go in and do a 1031 exchange. The next one, go do a 16 unit in a few years from now. If it takes you 3 years, to make that in revenue, in cash flow, God bless your heart because you're kicking ass,
Yeah.
right? Then you go in, build a 16 unit,
Exactly.
and then keep the 8 unit or sell it. Doesn't even matter.
Larger one.
Okay? You just go into a larger one. You don't have to do a 1031 exchange. You can just go in and just do a bigger one and do a 16 unit. Sundays are all about this, guys. This is what Sunday's all about. It's teaching you guys how to go in and leverage yourself. And I'll tell you guys this. You guys know how much I pay for health insurance for a family of 4? For the best health coverage? I have better health coverage than all of you guys. How much a month? 1,800? How much?
$0.
3,500? $0.
Close to zero.
No, I don't pay zero. I pay $50 a month, guys.
Close to zero.
$50 a month. You know why? Because I'm poor. I'm low income.
Right.
And my kids, before we had them in private school for a couple years, we didn't pay tuition because we were poor. We're low income. Our net taxable income was so low, we didn't pay them for tuition in private school. I paid enough for property taxes. Make sense? I'll teach you guys how to do all that stuff on Sunday. Look, ladies and gentlemen, you guys see Rick over here and you see Carlos over here? My big Brazilian brother over here in the black. See my big Puerto Rican brother right here? Okay? These aren't my bouncers. These are my buddies. Okay? These guys aren't sales guys. These guys are entrepreneurs just like you guys. Rick ran a business that made millions of dollars a year for many, many years, paid off his houses, done everything. We've known each other for 32, 34 years, guys. Our wives were best friends until we lost his wife a few years ago. And life changed a little bit. He just came in. He said, I'm done, Jerome. He goes, I'm just going to come in. I want to work with you. And I'm done. He goes, I paid everything off. And now he works with us full time. And Carlos and I were speaking on stage together 8 years ago, right after he was done working with Tony Robbins and all these other guys. And I'll tell you guys, these guys right here are going to help you guys here in a moment. And let me explain why. How many of you guys don't want to wait till Nashville to come in and work with me and want to be able to come in and start working with my team and I immediately? How many of you guys want to come in and start working with us immediately? Okay. How many community members do I have here today? Who's in my community right here? Your community members, people that are part of our community. Tell them what it's like. Go stand up, introduce yourself.
I'm Joshua. I've been with Jerome's team for, I don't know, 3-4 years, I think. I was at an event a few months ago, I think maybe last month in San Francisco.
February. It goes that fast, though. February.
So I was just telling him how much he was able to save me just by his education and purchasing a lot. And one of them I didn't go through with just from the information that I learned from Jerome. So he'll teach you a lot if you join his team.
Yeah. He paid $10,000 to be a part of my team. How much money have you saved being a part of my team?
Way more than that.
Worth
Over 100,000. Just on one property.
Just on one project.
Not even buying it. So
few years. Have I ever been in your pockets to come in and pay renewal fees or anything?
no.
Once you're part of our community, you're part of my community forever. That makes sense? I don't do it to be able to go and make money on you guys, but I want a commitment from you guys. You were at my last event. Go and stand up, introduce yourself. You were here in San Francisco, right, at my last event?
No, I've been to the Scottsdale one.
Scottsdale one?
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah? How was it?
Amazing. It was super educational. It was fun. The energy remains the same.
What did you get out of it, though? What'd you get out of it?
All the paperwork, the foundation. There was information about building business credit. There was information about doing ground up builds. We talked about multi-units as well. There's a ton.
How many speakers were there?
There was you. He opened up the floor, and then he had about 6 or 8 students on a panel that were interviewed, and they spent a good 20-30 minutes sharing their details of all the variations of builds that they have.
Experience. People in our community that are kicking ass. People that are making millions of dollars building shit. Guys, I don't have no speakers that go into this thing. I don't put people on stage. I'm not there to motivate you guys. I don't give you motivation. I go in there and I give you guys information. Now, I'm the only speaker, guys, and I bring my students up that are fucking kicking ass to go up, and you guys can hammer them to ask them questions on what they're doing, on what they're going through, and they can teach you guys from some of their shortcomings and how they did it. And so that opportunity for you guys won't come. It'll come and go. So make sure that you guys get there. Now, here's the thing. Who else is in my community? Carlos is in the community too. And who else is in the community? You're part of our community as well.
My name is Josh Amen. How's everybody doing? There you go. All right, so I'm new to the program. I've been here actually only a couple of months, but I've been looking at it just like you guys. I've attended some of the calls and online. Been doing it for only a couple of months, right? but I've learned a ton, and it's not just about what you learn and about making money, right? Which is what we're all here to do. But the other piece of it is you get to build this community up. So I just met Carlos, I'm just meeting this guy right here. And I've met some of you guys already. It's more than just learning and making money, right? You can also build resources and meet different people. So I've met some of you guys. Hopefully I'll get to meet some of you guys once you guys join the team and everything. But I'm new and looking forward to tying up my first pillow here pretty soon. So I'm pretty excited about it and glad to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Here's the thing, guys. I market new people come in, guys. It's $10,000 to be a part of our community one time, and we're never in your pockets ever again. You're part of my community for life. My team will probably discount it for you guys if you make a decision today. But look, guys, I don't need you guys to join. We have over 2,000 people nationwide. I do these events for free for you guys to come in and teach you guys. There's people that are ready to get started. There's people that aren't quite ready yet. The biggest thing, guys, for me to you guys is putting you guys in a position where you guys can go out and win. People always look for like a monetary return on investment. Guys, this isn't a monetary return on investment. Let me tell you guys something. I worked for Smith's Grocery Stores back in 1988. I got hired at Smith's Grocery Stores when I was 15 years old. 1988, guys, I was making $3.25 an hour, okay? By 1991, I was an assistant manager there. I was 17 years old. They thought I was 18 because I lied about my age and told them I was 16 when I was 15. And I started managing that store. At the age of 17, guys, I had $200,000 a night going through my tills, through my cash registers that I was responsible for. I learned the systems and processes that grocery store utilizes and probably still utilizes today. At a time when there wasn't AFDC and welfare stuff, we were still using paper food stamps back in those days. WIC was on a check, guys. Coupons were still clipped out of a newspaper, and we were responsible. If we were $2.50 over or under, we got written up 3 times. You're fired. I run Subway stores, man. These guys would be short $100 every fucking day. You know, it's crazy, and we ran like a percentage of what we ran. The systems and processes that I learned back then, over 35 years ago, I still utilize today. Life pays in dividends, and my mom taught me this. My mom always told me, she was only one thing you take to the grave with you. Those supercars and all this shit that we have, guys, you guys don't give a shit about that stuff, and I know that. You guys might ooh and ah in the moment, go, oh, fuck, that friggin' Ferrari is bad as shit. But then you guys go out and your problems become more important than my dumb shit. Does that make sense? So my mom told me that. She goes, no one cares about that stuff because when someone turns around, Jerome, they have their own life problems. That's what they weigh on. And so I tell you guys this, there's only one thing you take to the grave. My mom always told me, she goes, this is what you have up here. Guys, the investment isn't for me, it's for you guys. You guys, I need a commitment out of you guys, and I need that commitment to be a little uncomfortable. My son the other day, Rick and I went to Florida. I came back and I told my son, I said, you should just come in and you should come in and work with me because he doesn't have a lot of time to come in and enroll you guys. And I said, I'll give you a commission on it. I told him, and he goes, how much does it cost to come in to work with you guys? And my son did this. Guy's 17 years old. My son did this. My son looked at me. He goes, how much do they pay to come in? I said, $10,000, son. And I go, and I'll give you a commission on it. He goes, I'll make that much. I said, yes. And I go, look, and he goes, when I told him it was $10,000, he goes, he goes, Dad, how much do you talk? He goes, how much is Alec? He knows my camera goes, how much is Alec going to make on that house? I said, about $280,000. He goes, these guys are making $280,000, Dad, and you're charging them $10,000? He goes, that's all you charge them? He goes, why don't you charge them more? And I said, son, he goes, it's not about that. I said, it's about putting them in a position where they can win. Guys, my son got it. And I sat back and I told Jacob, and my wife just looked at me and she goes, I've been telling you. She goes like that. She goes, my wife thinks I should be charging you guys like $25,000 to come in and work with it because she knows how much time I put into it. And my wife goes like that. She goes, see, it all comes back tenfold to Daddy. She goes, when we go in with these people, they're going in and they're really making strong. And my son's seen it. He's seen the success. He's seen it with his football coach. His football coach, we went to Louisiana Monroe. My son has D1 offers all over the country. But I remember we came out of dinner with Cornelius, who's part of our program. And he goes, and we went in for his college invite over at Mid-Tennessee State University. And when they gave him his college offer over at Mid-Tennessee State University, what happened is we went to dinner with Cornelius. These guys are making strong 6 figures, guys, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a year as the offensive coordinators. And my son, when we left dinner that night at this restaurant, I landed up picking up the bill. And my son goes, Dad, why did you pay for that? He goes, he asked you questions all night long. And I said, son, please pay for everything. You know why? Because I don't want to be that person that doesn't pay for it. And he goes like that. He goes, Dad, he goes, we're driving back. He goes, I'm working my ass off to go do what these guys are doing. And all these coaches, everywhere we go, want to do what you're doing, Dad. That was like that was like his transition and his pinnacle moment. He goes, Dad, I just want to do what you do for a living. He goes, I'm going to push this as far as I can get it, as far as it takes me, but I want to do what you do for a living.
Wow.
Do you guys understand that?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is life-changing. Guys, this is life-changing. This will change your life. And the reason I do this is because, yeah, you guys will come in and invest in some of my deals, but this is kind of my give back to you guys. We've changed a lot of people's lives and we're doing it every single day. It's freaking cool as shit, guys, what we're doing in our community. If you guys want to be a part of something incredible, guys, I run it the way I talked to you guys today. I run it more like a coach than I do a teacher. I don't know how to teach, but I know how to teach I know how to show you guys what I've done. And I'm a little hard on you guys. How many of you guys are okay with a little bit of hard love? You guys okay with a little bit of hard love? Can you guys tell that I'm not going to bullshit you guys?
No pain,
You
no
guys tell
gain.
I'm not going to pussyfoot around. These guys will tell you. I'll get in the call. Sometimes I'm a little bit intense, but I'll tell you guys, it's a hard world out there. You know, and if you guys can't take me being hard on you guys with hard love and being real with you guys, you'll never make it out there. You'll never make it out there. So I tell you guys this, the reason that Rick and Carlos are here today is to come in and help me get you guys on board. How many of you guys want to get started with me and start working with me and get an opportunity to start working with me today? Raise your hands. Okay. Raise your hands. If you guys are ready to go ahead and stand up, sir. Go ahead and stand up. Go ahead and stand up. Go ahead and stand up, sir. And then who else? Somebody else? You right here? Go ahead and stand up. Okay, you guys are standing up. Go ahead and come forward over here, and we're gonna help you guys. We're gonna help you guys enroll. And mind you guys, we have financing stuff, guys. We're gonna help finance you guys and everything. And I don't care if it takes you guys 6 months to 9 months to pay. We're gonna help you guys on board. So go ahead and stand up. Where's the gentleman that was in the back right there? In the back.
It's me.
Come on up here. Yeah, come on up here. Okay, go ahead and come on up here, guys. Let me have the tablet. I'll help you guys as well. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys stick around. Let's network and let's hang out. And then I'll answer some questions with you guys. I'm going to help these folks over here. You guys that have your hand, come over here with me.